presenters today. That was such a wonderful presentation from all of your on-the-ground experiences, trying to live through both disasters of yore and our current pandemic. We're going to bring up our conference wrap-up and closing remarks slide deck. We're going to roll right into this session, even though it's not 4:40. We're going to just keep going, and you'll probably get some time back for your day. We, just as a few reminders, as we're changing out the slide decks, and maybe I should just make sure, oh, here they are. All right, they're already here. We first of all, I'm going to put up a conference survey while I make some of my announcements so that you have time to sort of grab the link. It's clickable, apparently, from within Adobe Connect. And we also have a QR code on the screen, and our producer is sending out the link as well. So during this time, as we're wrapping up, we would love for you to just go ahead and take the survey around the conference and how you felt about it while it's really fresh in your mind. So I'll just kind of talk a little bit announcement style for a while as you're bringing that up. We will also send out this link following the conference through an email so that those that aren't tuned in right at this moment also have a chance to respond to it. So just as some reminders, we're going to be following up on any questions that were asked during the course of the presentations that we didn't have time to answer during the presentation, or for whatever reason we didn't get to answer them. We are in the process of already sending recognition certificates to those states who got shout-outs yesterday. So we will, if you have not already received them, we will be sending those to you. We still have a few presentations that have not made it onto our website. It was deliberate on our part so that you would have more of a surprise aspect to the state's presentations today. And so we will be filling in those gaps over the next few days. And then the recordings from all of the presentations, I don't have a time frame yet, but we will get those up and linked to the website as soon as we can. They have to go through a process so that they're accessible and they meet all the federal requirements. So do give us a little time, but we will get those recordings up very shortly. Speaking of recordings, in my first presentation yesterday, I mentioned that there would be tomorrow a webinar on our CARES Act discretionary grants that are newly available. There is a webinar tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we've learned that it has reached capacity at this point. So if you are still hoping to register and get in on that, don't worry. We're going to have the recording up for that one posted shortly after the fact as well. So even if you can't get into the registration at this point, know that that will be posted shortly. There was some mention in the chat during one of the breaks about how nice it would have been if all of the attendees could have had their cameras on and have a way to interact with each other. And we didn't try to press our luck with that during these 2 days, but we do have additional technology available, and we have already thought it would be really nice to get all the LSTA coordinators together that would like to and have a very informal gathering, which is optional. You know, there won't be any critical information shared at that gathering. It'll just be a way for you to get together, and we would be happy to facilitate that. So we're going to give you a little breather between all the conference content you've been sitting through this week and some time, and so we will let you know once we get a date and a time set for that, and we will see how it goes. It'll be a trial run. I want to say a few thank yous, and so I'm going to move off of this screen right now, but you have the SurveyMonkey link in your questions area. In addition to connecting with each other, we did not have a chance for you to connect with your program officer as we traditionally do when we're at an in-person conference. And so we didn't have those office hours. But the good news is that the in-person office hours were only ever, 10 minutes by necessity. And so we have an opportunity now, again, with some of our technology available to us, for you to reach out to your program officer and set up a time of your choosing and set up a length of your choosing. You probably need a half hour to check in with your program officer, but if you want a little more time, we'll accommodate that. So we'll set it up as you reach out to us, but we would love to connect with you. And of course, Dennis is still on paternity leave, but we expect him back in the month of June. And so if you have a burning desire to meet in person before June comes, then if you're one of Dennis's states, you can reach out to me, and I will set up some office hours with you. We have some thank yous. Making this program happen, it's not just the Grants to State staff, although they are super instrumental in pulling this all together. And it's not just Matt and Lisa, our wonderful speakers from the Office of Impact Assessment and Learning. We had a couple of executive sponsors who gave us the blessing to go ahead and have this conference, both when it was in person, and that is a much more expensive proposition that comes out of our administrative budget, and we have to justify it every year. And now that it's virtual, it still has some costs attached to it. So we're so thankful to Cindy and to Scott for believing in us and allowing us to have this conference, which we know is so important. We had contract support, certainly in the lead up to the in-person conference, and then when it pivoted and we had to go virtual. So Chris Matee was busy making all the paperwork happen for us. And of course, we never put any slides up on the web that have anything legal in them at all unless they've been reviewed by our legal team. And in particular, Cam Trowbridge was wonderful in turning those around super quickly with everything else on their legal plates right now with all the CARES Act things that are happening. And I didn't put our webmaster, Talitha Parker, on this slide, but she always turns around the content super fast so that once we have slide decks ready, that they are ready for your consumption. So we thank her too. We had so many awesome volunteers from the states to help us have today's content in particular. So, thank you. I know not all of you are still on the call, but to Natalie Cole, to Jen Nelson, Catherine Prince, Abby Waldrop, Mary Susie, Peggy Cadigan, Eileen Morales, Michael Dennison, and Cindy Fessmeyer. Really awesome explanations of the kinds of projects that you're doing with discretionary funding and just giving people a window into what that looks like. We also thank our latest three speakers, Rob Favini, Denise Lyons, and Mark Smith, for their just invaluable perspectives on disaster preparedness. And we look forward to putting both of these group slide decks up on the website so that you can revisit them. And I see that we have some FEMA information that has already gone out through the chat. So they're already sharing additional valuable information. We have a team behind the scenes that helped us with our virtual support, and goodness knows we would not have been able to do this without them. So to Steph Hines and Matt Burdetsky from Capital Meeting Planning, thank you so much for making this possible for us. And to our involved media producer, Mitchell, who has just been running the show like a champ and coaching us through all the intricacies of Adobe Connect, which for many of us was our first experience in this platform. We are so grateful for them. High fives all around. And last but not least, we thank you for hanging in there with us in a new and different format this year. We were not, hoping that we would have to do a conference like this, but now that we have, your presence and your questions have made this conference a success in our book. And so we thank you. We look forward to being together with you again in the future, in person like we traditionally do. And until then, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you continue being superheroes in your communities. Thanks, everyone. this concludes the conference.